The long and complex relationship between John Cena and Randy Orton has defined eras of WWE, but the latest chapter, sparked by Cena's dramatic heel turn, promises to be their most compelling yet. This isn't just about two legends colliding one more time. It's about legacy, reinvention, and the high-wire act of storytelling that only wrestling can deliver at its peak. Cena's betrayal of everything he once stood for has reignited the WWE landscape, and in Orton, he's found the perfect mirror to reflect his fall from grace. Their rivalry, already etched in the annals of wrestling history, is now positioned for a climactic, emotionally charged evolution, setting the stage for what could be a timeless masterpiece. When John Cena turned heel at Elimination Chamber 2025, it wasn't just a heel turn, it was an ideological shift. The symbol of hustle, loyalty, and respect was obliterated the moment he aligned himself with The Rock and Travis Scott. Cena didn't just betray Cody Rhodes, he betrayed the fans who cheered him for nearly 2 decades. That WrestleMania 41 moment where Cena captured his historic 17th World Championship didn't feel like a coronation. It felt like a hostile takeover, and that's what makes this storyline so riveting. Cena is no longer interested in being liked. He's chasing history with unapologetic arrogance. And Randy Orton, who knows a thing or two about embracing his darker side, won't let him rewrite history without a fight. The April 22nd episode of Raw served as the perfect ignition point. Orton didn't waste time with speeches or slow burn tension. He walked down the ramp and attacked Cena, dropping him with an RKO that sent shockwaves through the arena. In doing so, Orton redefined his own character trajectory. For years, he was the villain in the Cena-Orton saga, but now, for the first time, he's the fan favorite standing up against the tyranny of Cena's newfound ego. That visual of Cena recoiling from the RKO, visibly shaken and vocally slipping up with a viral expletive, spoke volumes. It wasn't just good TV, it was art. Cena, once unshakable in the face of adversity, is now vulnerable, not because he's weak, but because he's finally become what he once despised. What elevates this feud above typical veteran matchups is the emotional investment and history behind every stare-down, every promo, and every physical confrontation. These two men have been rivals since the ruthless aggression era. They came up together, dominated together, and for years they were the dual faces of WWE. Orton representing chaos and Cena representing order. Their paths have always been intertwined, and even when they weren't feuding, the shadow of their rivalry loomed large over the main event scene. But this is the first time they've truly switched roles. Cena is now the cold, manipulative opportunist, while Orton has evolved into a protective figure for the WWE locker room and fan base. That inversion of roles isn't just compelling, it's poetic. There's also a unique chemistry between Cena and Orton that few rivalries can replicate. They don't need elaborate gimmicks or convoluted stipulations to sell a match. Their in-ring storytelling is a masterclass in pacing, motion, and psychology. Orton's methodical, almost predatory offense contrasts beautifully with Cena's explosive style. But now, as a heel, Cena's in-ring demeanor has shifted. He's more ruthless, more cunning, and willing to bend the rules with a veteran's subtlety. This version of Cena will force Orton to tap into a part of himself he hasn't accessed in years, the part that was once known as the Legend Killer. And that's what makes their upcoming clash at Backlash in Orton's hometown of St. Louis so intriguing. It's not just a title match, it's a battle for philosophical dominance. WWE has long struggled to craft believable main event feuds that don't rely on spectacle alone. But this rivalry doesn't need fireworks. It thrives on the weight of its own history. Every word Cena utters now carries venom because fans know what he used to represent. Every reaction from Orton carries gravity because he's walked this path of damnation before and rejected it. In many ways, Orton is trying to prevent Cena from fully becoming what Orton himself once was. That sense of karmic justice permeates their every encounter. It's more than just another chapter. It feels like the definitive one. The audience's reaction further validates the brilliance of this booking. When Orton RKO'd Cena, and the camera caught Cena cursing under his breath, the crowd erupted, not just because of the move, but because of the symbolism. For years, Cena was untouchable, a corporate superhero immune to chaos. But now, stripped of his virtue and dripping with ego, he's exposed, vulnerable. Orton's attack wasn't just an RKO. It was a rejection of Cena's new persona, and the crowd loved every second of it. Wrestling thrives on emotional whiplash, and this feud delivers it in spades. Orton is also uniquely suited to be the one who checks Cena's ego, not just because of their shared history, but because Orton himself has undergone a quiet, powerful transformation. After years of being the venomous viper, he's become something of a protector, someone who stands up for what wrestling should be. He isn't chasing titles for clout. He's chasing moments that matter, and stopping a corrupted Cena from tarnishing the legacy of the WWE Championship is exactly the kind of crusade that gives Orton new depth. He doesn't need to be flashy. His quiet intensity and history with Cena do all the talking. As for Cena, his heel work is finally unshackled. For years, fans begged for a darker version of the character, but WWE never pulled the trigger. Now, Cena has the creative freedom to lean into that darkness. He's not dressing up the heel turn with excuses. He's embracing it fully, whether it's mocking the fans, gaslighting his former allies, or cutting razor-sharp promos dripping with disdain. Cena is operating at an entirely new level. His alliance with The Rock and Travis Scott adds a bizarre, almost dystopian flavor to his character, a blend of Hollywood arrogance, pop culture clout, and wrestling dominance that feels both surreal and dangerous. The match itself is likely to be a masterclass in psychological storytelling. Cena will look to humiliate Orton in his own hometown, using every dirty trick in the book. Orton, fueled by vengeance and pride, will fight not just for the title, but for the soul of the WWE. Every false finish, every counter, every stare down will be loaded with meaning. There's no need for special effects when the emotional stakes are this high. It's the kind of match that fans will remember not because of what happened, but because of how it made them feel. This feud is also a commentary on the current state of WWE. Cena's heel turn exposes the company's own contradictions. He's become a symbol of what happens when loyalty is weaponized, when legacy is sold for clout, and when icons stop caring about the fans who built them. Orton, by contrast, is the everyman hero. Flawed, complicated, but grounded. He's not trying to save Cena. He's trying to stop him, and that mission gives this rivalry stakes that transcend the title itself. Moreover, the build-up has allowed both men to thrive on the microphone. Cena's verbal attacks are no longer censored by PR guidelines. He can say the things that were once off limits, turning promos into verbal warfare. Orton, never known for being verbose, keeps his words few but impactful. When he speaks, people listen. The contrast between Cena's brash arrogance and Orton's simmering rage creates a tension that is palpable even before they step into the ring. The use of social media and real-life buzz surrounding their interactions has only heightened fan interest. The clip of Cena cursing before the RKO went viral for a reason. It felt real. In an era where so much of wrestling feels overly scripted, that moment cut through the noise. It reminded fans that the best moments in wrestling are often the ones that blur the line between fiction and reality. That's what this feud is doing on a weekly basis. It's making fans believe again. There's also the looming possibility that this might be one of Cena's final major feuds. As part of his farewell tour, every match counts. Every promo, every action, every confrontation feels like it could be the last of its kind. And if this is indeed Cena's swan song, there's no better opponent to write that final chapter with than Randy Orton. They began their journeys together, battled through every era together, and now they're poised to close the book together. That symmetry is too perfect to ignore. In a landscape crowded with part-time returns, celebrity cameos, and overbooked storylines, this feud stands out because it's rooted in truth. It's about pride, betrayal, and the cost of ambition. Cena isn't the good guy anymore, and Orton isn't the villain. They've swapped places, but the respect between them, no matter how begrudging, is still there. That respect, that shared history, that emotional weight is what makes this feud transcend wrestling. It's not just a match, it's a reckoning. Their rivalry didn't begin as a blood feud. It began as a competition for dominance between two chosen ones. Cena was the corporate poster child, Orton the volatile prodigy. While Cena was groomed to carry the company's public image, Orton was raw potential, wrapped in danger, unpredictability, and excellence. That contrast fueled their dynamic from the start. For years, they orbited around each other, taking turns headlining pay-per-views, trading championships, and defining the main event aesthetic of their time. But even in their prime, there was a sense that their story wasn't finished. It never reached its true emotional conclusion. Cena kept rising, moving beyond wrestling into movies, charity, and late-night talk shows. Orton stayed. He didn't chase outside fame. He remained in WWE, enduring through its highs and lows, transforming from brash youth into a revered elder statesman. That decision, conscious or not, makes him the ideal closer for Cena's storied career. Unlike Cena, whose recent heel turn feels sudden and soaked in theatricality, Orton's development has been gradual and organic. He's lived every shade of villainy and now occupies a space of nuanced respect. He's no longer driven by malice, but by legacy. He's not looking to add another title reign or chase spotlight. He's seeking meaning, and nothing would solidify that more than putting an end to the most decorated WWE career of the modern era. Retiring Cena isn't about ego for Orton, it's about completion. Cena's transformation into a manipulative, egocentric heel has disturbed the very balance Orton fought so hard to maintain in his own journey. While Cena once stood for values, his new persona mocks them, warping the ideals he used to champion into weapons of control. Orton sees through that. He's been that person before, and now he sees the need to stop it. Orton deserves the honor of retiring Cena because no one else understands the full spectrum of Cena's rise and fall. Not CM Punk, not Roman Reigns, not Cody Rhodes. They've all intersected with Cena at various points, but only Orton has journeyed alongside him. From developmental days to global superstardom, the two built an era together, and it would be narratively unjust for someone less connected, less foundational to Cena's story, to write the final sentence. If wrestling is at its best when it reflects storytelling symmetry, then Orton is not just a candidate, he's the necessary conclusion. There is poetry in having the one man who Cena could never quite eliminate be the one who ultimately ends his career. When the lights go down at Backlash and Cena steps into the ring to defend his ill-gotten championship, it won't just be another title defense. It'll be a test of everything he's become and everything Orton has overcome. The outcome almost doesn't matter, because the story being told is already unforgettable. Two titans, one final battle, and a legacy hanging in the balance. That's why heel John Cena versus Randy Orton is destined to be a masterpiece.